104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. You can catch our next guest every morning, 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area. It's Joe Fortenbaugh. He's helping us break down Bills, Raiders. Joe, I'm a Raiders fan, so the most important finger in the world right now is Carr's pinky finger. What kind of shape is it in?
He practiced Thursday without the glove, which everyone's reacting to and saying this is such a great thing. I mean, he might play with the glove on Sunday. No one knows. It's just going to come down to a level of comfort. But from day one, and when I say day one, I mean last week's game, it was made pretty clear he wasn't going to miss any time with this injury. It's really going to come down to a matter of pain threshold. I think the key to watch if you're a Buffalo fan, if you're a football fan, if you're Kansas City next week, who the Raiders have on deck, how many plays are the Raiders running from the shotgun versus under center? That's going to be the tell. Because if the Raiders have to limit their playbook to avoid center snaps directly to Carr because of the pain injury, that could be a tell as to how the offense is going to try to convert on, say, third down or in the red zone. But all systems go for Derek Carr Sunday against Buffalo.
Joe, are you hearing anything about that or whether or not he'll be able to receive the ball from under center?
Not much. They've been very quiet, as they generally are, just like the Warriors with injuries. They don't want a whole lot out there. Just use the Mario Edwards situation as an example. When he went down with a hip injury in the preseason around middle of August, we were told 4 to 6 weeks. Everyone thought he'd be back at the end of September. Here we are in December, and he's just started doing some light running. So I can't say I blame the team. You don't want to give out any information you don't have to. But for now, there isn't too much of an update as to whether or not the offense is going to change a whole lot based on Carr being under center versus the shotgun.
As much as it's been hurting me to deal with a Raider fan every day during this job, I've been giving Levack credit that I think Carr is the MVP of the league. Do you feel the same way?
I think he's certainly in contention. He has had a very nice season. The Raiders are 9-2. It's their first winning season since 2002. He has him in first place in the AFC West. And I think a lot of times when it comes to voters, and not just for the MVP award, for the Cy Young, for MVPs everywhere, for the Heisman Trophy, I think the voters a lot of times like something new. It's why Bill Belichick doesn't win Coach of the Year every year. You could make a case that Bill Belichick is the best coach in football every year, yet he's won Coach of the Year, what, maybe 3 or 4 times in his storied career? Mm-hmm. That's obviously a sign of voters liking to go in a different direction to try things that are fresh. So I could see Derek, based on merit and based on that philosophy, winning the award. But he's going to have some stiff competition. I think Russell Wilson has had a very nice year. Tom Brady, obviously, if he can continue to produce without Rob Gronkowski in the lineup, that is going to bolster his claim. Matthew Stafford's doing some very nice things in Detroit. And to be honest with you, this could be the year a defensive player sneaks into the mix. I know Von Miller's only got 12.5 sacks, probably won't hit 20, but if you wanted to vote a defensive player this year, I think you'd have an opportunity. But yes, Derek's definitely got to be in the top 3 at the moment.
Joe Fortenbaugh joining us from 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area right now on Levack and Goz, 104.5 The Team.
How are Raider fans feeling right now in the Bay Area? Is there a sense of optimism, like this is finally the year, or are they held back a little bit thinking, look, we haven't had a winning record since 2002. Is this actually going to last?
Why'd you bring that up?
You know what? It's kind of right in the middle. There's a lot of optimism based on the way they play. But rather than sit back and say, I don't know if we're good enough, we've seen things fall apart in the past, they're nitpicking, which is amazing for a team that hasn't produced a winning record in 15 years almost. They're actually sitting here, and you can talk about an offense that's in the top 5, and then our text line will go nuclear with people saying Musgrave's a bum, and Bill Musgrave's the offensive coordinator, right, for those just listening. Musgrave's a bum. He calls too many runs. His play calling is stale. You'll have these guys really nitpicking this team. The defense has been the source of a lot of vitriol for a lot of Raider fans because while they have gotten a little bit sharper in recent weeks, people do see that as the weak spot this season, especially at the cornerback position. Sean Smith, making about $10 million a year as a big free agent signing, hasn't necessarily lived up to the billing on a consistent basis. But Raider fans are enjoying what they're seeing, but they're a demanding group. They know that this team has a lot of potential. They do want to see them improve.
Joe, what worries you as somebody who watches the Raiders so closely about this Bills team?
The running game. Oh, well, first of all, there's a lot of things. This is a good Bills team. I know that they can show some inconsistencies at times. One of the best games they played this year, in my opinion, was in a loss. That Monday night at Seattle, that is a very, very difficult place to go in and get a road win. Not only that, it's prime time, and it's a non-conference opponent. You're not familiar with them at all. But I thought Tyrod Taylor looked fantastic. I think he's really stepping into his own and becoming a very versatile quarterback. Shady McCoy, I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, so I've been following McCoy my entire life, or at least my entire version of his NFL life. And when the Buffalo Bills come in here with the number 1 ranked rushing attack, it's obviously going to worry me because the Raiders currently rank 26th against the run. So this is where Buffalo can have a lot of success. If you can't contain Tyrod Taylor and he gets out to the edge, he's going to pick up big yardage with his feet. And Shady McCoy's the same way. If he gets in the open space, he's going to be very dangerous to bring down. It'll be interesting to see how Low Alexander, we had him on the show today, former Raider, former Cal Bear. Everyone loves this dude. It's so great to see him with 10 sacks this season playing at such a high level. But it'll be interesting to see how that front seven holds up against one of the better O-lines in football. But I would say my biggest concern with Buffalo is absolutely the rushing attack they bring to the table.
And that goes along with Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor continuing to improve. Is there going to be a linebacker or some defensive key they say, look, your job is to be on Tyrod Taylor. Do not let this guy out of the pocket.
If they try to do that, that's going to be a problem for the Raiders because the linebacking unit led by Malcolm Smith has been a bit of an issue this season. They haven't been terrible, but they've picked up a bit since Perry Riley was signed off the street. Now, Riley missed last week's game with an injury, so we'll see where he stands this weekend. But my thought process would be rather than dedicate one guy to spying Tyrod Taylor, you've got to get your ends. Guys like, not Alden Smith, but guys like Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin, they're going to need big-time discipline this weekend. You are going to have to set the edge. You're going to have to control the tackle. You cannot let Tyrod Taylor get outside because if he does, he's extremely dangerous. So rather than dedicate a spy to the situation, I'd expect there to be an increased emphasis on containment from the end.
Joey, as a Raider fan here in upstate New York, I watch from a distance, and all we talk about, you right there in the Bay Area on 95.7 The Game, Joe Fortenbaugh, the morning man. Are they going to stay in the Bay? Are they going to move? Every other day I hear a news story. They're going to Vegas. Now Lott's got something figured out. What are you hearing?
Well, it's a unique situation, especially for me, because before moving here a couple of years ago, I lived in Las Vegas for 3 years. So I've been talking to people on both sides of the equation. That's not to say I have any inside knowledge, but I'm very familiar with how both sides are approaching this. I have maintained from day one, I think it's a bad business move to move to Las Vegas. I just think it's a bad play for everybody involved. For the Raiders, why would you move from an area with 7 million people to an area that tops out at 2 million? In addition, most teams, they have ancillary towns surrounding them. Go to San Diego, you've got, the LA sect, and you go to Arizona, you've got Scottsdale, all these little towns that you can grab fans from. Vegas is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing within 3 hours of any direction. That's your only fan base, number one. Number two, you're going to have a problem with home field advantage because a lot of transient people live in Vegas. You've also got all the out-of-town fans that are going to come in. Do you really want to be the San Diego Chargers Part 2 and have no home field advantage whatsoever? Plus, there's this. From a Las Vegas standpoint, I thought it was a horrible move for the state of Nevada. You don't have this money to dedicate to a stadium. You say you do, but why not put it towards something that matters? Nevada as a state ranks in the bottom 2 in education in this country. There are so many problems with poverty, homelessness, jobs, education. That money could be better served helping the people elsewhere. And then finally, no one can ever answer this question. Where's the water going to come from in 20 years? Where is the city of Las Vegas going to get its water from? And in addition to that, how will they handle another recession? Because 2008 crushed that town. So personally, I think it's a bad business move on both sides. I see why the city wants it. I see why Mark wants his new stadium. But I think when all's said and done, the owners and Roger Goodell are going to get involved, and they're going to prevent the Raiders from going to Las Vegas. I do not think the team will get the vote.
So, all right, no Vegas. Does that mean they find a way to stay in Oakland?
That would be the only option the way I would see it because it looks like the Chargers are going to exercise that option to move to Los Angeles. I wouldn't be surprised if I started to hear the next leverage play in the equation, which might be the Raiders moving to San Diego and just taking up shop at Qualcomm Stadium. I mean, Mark Davis does not want to be here. It's not that he's against the Bay. He's against the politicians. He looks around and he sees every other city, everywhere in the country, giving taxpayer money to stadiums, yet he can't get any of it. And he doesn't like it because he also saw the Niners just pulled this off down in Santa Clara. I get where he's coming from, but you got to bring more to the table. My thought has always been that he should bring on another wealthy owner so they can make a play. Larry Ellison from Oracle. He tried to buy the Warriors. The guy wants to be an owner, but Mark doesn't want to relinquish any portion of his team. So you keep hearing about this Ronnie Lott deal that everyone's talking about, and it's nice. They want to buy the property with the Coliseum, build a new stadium. Oakland's willing to get involved for about $200 million. It would be great, but Mark Davis isn't going to agree to it because he's not going to relinquish part of the team, and ultimately that's what Lott's investment group is going to want.
We'll swing it back to the Bills-Raiders here to close it out. It's a Football Friday. For all our Football Friday guests, we make them make a prediction. Bills-Raiders, what happens, Joe?
Wow. This one, you see, the biggest problem I have with this game for the Raiders is that they just came off a big home win against Carolina, and now they're in a classic look-ahead spot. Thursday night at Kansas City in a game that if you bet on games, I'll tell you what right now, Kansas City is the play. There is no better situation in the NFL this year than that situation on Thursday night. Quick background. Last 15 years, you've only had 11 situations in which a team has played on a Sunday and traveled to play a road game on a Thursday night, 1,500 or more miles across 2 time zones. It's happened 11 times in the last 15 years. And in 10 of those situations, the home team has won and the home team has covered the spread. Love Kansas City in that game Thursday night. I'd like to lean to the Bills here with the points. I think they're going to make this awfully close. But every time I think the Raiders are in a look-ahead spot or a tricky situation, they end up finding a way to come through and win. Derek Carr's hand is going to be the key. I think Buffalo keeps it close. To be honest with you, I'll take Buffalo plus the points here.
Woo, Joe, I loved you right until then. That was then we had this.
It's just I'll tell you what, if the Raiders cannot slow down this rushing attack, the Bills are going to be able to keep Derek Carr off the field, and that's the strong suit of the Raiders. It's their offense. If they're going to be on the field 26 minutes because Buffalo's dictating tempo and time, it's going to be awfully difficult to overcome that. And the best way to dictate tempo is to run the ball, and Buffalo does it better than anyone else, and the Raiders are 26th against the run. That's going to be the key to the game. If the Bills can get the ground game going, they should be able to pull this thing off.
All right, well, I'm hoping you're wrong on that last point, but aside from that, you are money, sir. Joe Fortenbaugh from 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area, man. We appreciate you, and thanks for helping us break this thing down.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on, and enjoy the game this weekend.